101 camping. Well, the first thing you have to do is book your site. In my case, and in many cases, you can book online. So I select the park. I'm looking for provincial parks. I'm selecting Earl Row. I'm selecting my dates, how long I want to go, and how many people. And then don't forget you have to put whether you're having a tent or an RV or whatever. And then it brings up various options. You look at the map. Where do you want to go? Usually you select the one that has a green dot on it because those are showing available sites. Little teepee type shapes are tent sites. Little round circles are usually RV sites. And in this case, I selected a site. Then you get to look at it and see what it's like before you get there, bearing in mind that it's going to look different because of the different seasons. The next thing I do is I make lists. I have a list of everything that's going to need to be packed into the Honda, everything I'm going to need for camping. Then I make a food list, I make a menu. Oh, well, actually, I make the menu and then I make the food list and I go down through everything. Then I divide the food list into two sections: a dry box, things that are going in the dry box, and things that are going into the cooler. The dry box can actually be filled up during the week leading up to your camping date because they are essentially pantry items, so they will keep. Now, I wouldn't necessarily put the banana in there, but I did that just for visual effect. But the coffee, the tea, the sugar, the olive oil, crackers, any dry product that you're going to take along with you, you can put it into the box. And I always throw in a couple of extra things like the Mr. Noodles or, well, maybe not my bread yet, but that will go in last. But biscuits and things like that. Sometimes little surprise items too. A little story on where I got this box. At one time, Stanley and I had ordered a week's food through one of these companies that supplies all the ingredients and the recipes, and then you put it all together yourself. I saved the box because it's a nice little insulated, handy box to use. I like saving things and reusing. One of the last things you'll do is set up your cooler. In our case, we set up the cooler fridge setting so that it was a fridge on both sides of the unit. When we get our food, that's when we're going to place it in the order that we're going to use it. Well, one thing you have to do is you have to order your food or you go to the grocery store to pick it up. In this case, what I wanted to do is I wanted to pick all my orders using the Walmart app just to find out how much my camping days are going to cost me in terms of eating. Now, some of these items are obviously going to be used during the week, but I will need them for camping. So I simply went through and picked all the items that I wanted for my camping. My meat and my potatoes and my snacks, all the stuff I would need. And then I went through and I made my order. Then I selected pickup, where you just drive up to the designated spot. And I then selected the time, the day, and the time that I want to pick it up. In my case, it's Friday, this coming Friday. You may already be in your Friday. So I picked the time that I wanted to pick up my food, and all I have to do is drive in, call the number. They bring out all my groceries, I count the items, make sure I've got everything, and it's all done. And it's great. It was such an easy way to shop for camping. I enjoy planning. I enjoy writing lists. I enjoy drawing out how things are going to be packed into the vehicle so that when the day arrives, I know exactly where everything is going to go in and what order it's going to go in. Also, the order that it's going to be taken out of the vehicle. I like to be organized. It's really sweet. Okay, Stanley's 82 and he said, "What am I going to do? What are my tasks going to be?" So I actually wrote them out for him this time so he could look at it ahead of time before we get there. And if need be, he can even refer to the list. He has this little system on our island in the kitchen where he leaves all these little tags of things he wants to remember and he keeps them in order. That's how he, as a senior, keeps himself organized and reminded. Finally, there is what to wear, and I make a list. So I guess you're not surprised that I make a list of that too. I find that whenever I write things down, number one, it helps me to organize. Number two, I don't forget things generally. And number three, it helps me visualize where we're going and what we actually need. So I have been told that don't wear white because it attracts bugs. And I've worn white and I attracted bugs. I don't know why they like that. So you want to wear dark clothes. You think about camouflage clothing, that army wears, and so there's a method and a reason behind that. So I'm going to wear dark clothing and warm clothing and cool clothing because our weather varies. Today it varies. Thanks for watching. The day of packing up the Hondo has almost arrived. Couple more sleeps and off we go. I'm so excited. You'll be hearing about this one.